The 1990 Argos catalogue featured a chunky set of 25-gram Harrows nickel tungsten Eric Bristow darts, known as the Red Ring due to the design, which featured 4 sets of 3 red rings along the barrel. The 90% tungsten darts came with a wallet, flights, shafts, sharpener and outshot calculator for just £9.99. The darts were only endorsed by, and never actually used by Bristow himself, but they were still very popular, and many players have used them in notable matches over the years. Andy Hamilton, a future World Championship finalist, used them in his early PDC appearances, including during his run to the semi-final stage of the 2006 World Match Play, where he wired a 9-darter using them. Later on in 2006, Hamilton signed for Unicorn, who produced him some signature darts that were very similar and almost identical to the Harrows ones, with the same red ring design. He used an unpainted set of these darts on a run to his first major final at the 2007 Grand Slam. A year later, he had switched barrel shapes to something more similar to what he used during his peak years in the PDC. Paul Hogan also used the set during TV appearances in the early 2000s before switching to his current set, which is a custom dart seemingly based off of the Bristows. His signature darts, which are available to buy, have a very similar grip with the 4 sets of 3 rings. A set of the original Harrows ones is still being used by Modus Super Series regular Danny Smith, confirmed by the on-screen graphics. But today, we're going to take a look at a different player who had a short but impressive run of form in the PDC using a set of cheap darts he purchased over 30 years ago. That man is Chaz Barstow, who spoke about his darts on an episode of the weekly Dartscast podcast.
Longester says, asks, what darts do you throw? It looks like the red ring Bristows.
Yeah, it's that's all I've ever thrown. From a young lad, they used to sell them in Argos, I think, for £10 a set, so they were nice and cheap. And that's all I've ever thrown. Eric Bristow red rings.
Until 2017, Barstow hadn't done much of national note in the singles game, but he had played county for Hampshire, a team he now has 50 appearances for. In 2017, he went on a good run at the England National Championships, a BDO-B ranking event. In this tournament, he beat the likes of Cammy Menzies and Tony O'Shea in last leg deciders to reach the last 16, where he was beaten by Paul Hogan, a man who uses his art based off the Bristow Red Rings. Barstow and Hogan have played doubles together in the past and won the pairs title at the 2018 New Forest Masters together. Chaz played in the PDC for the first time in 2018 when he went to Q School. He won 2 games on both the first and fourth day, but lost in the first round in the middle 2, meaning that he missed out on getting a card. He spent the rest of the year playing on the Challenge Tour, where in 19 events he made it past the last 32 twice, with the highlight of his season being a run to the quarter-finals, where he lost in the deciding leg to Jamie Hughes. By the end of the year, he had an average of 83.28, the 70th highest on the Challenge Tour players. He was 66th on the Order of Merit, having earned £800. At the end of the year, he played in the qualifier for the BDO World Championship, where he beat Nick Kenny to go within 2 wins of qualification. However, he was then beaten by Andy Hamilton, another player who began his career using Bristow's red rings in the last 16. Chaz went to Q School for the second time at the start of 2019, where he won 3 games on the first day, but then failed to make it past the second round on any of the final 3, meaning that he didn't get a card. He returned to the Challenge Tour, where he reached the last 32 in 2 out of the first 6 events, before failing to get there again in the next 14. His seasonal average had fallen to 80.28, the 149th highest, having only averaged in the 90s in 2 of his 36 games. It was then time for his third crack at Q School, and he made a good start, winning 3 games on the first day. However, he only won 2 on the second, and none on either the third or fourth, meaning that he missed out on a card yet again. He played in the short 2020 Challenge Tour, and after going out in round 2 in the first 2 events, he won 4 games in a row in last leg deciders to reach the last 32 of the third event of the year. In this round, he lost 5-1 to James Richardson, who averaged 108, which was tough on Chaz, as he had only hit 5 scores below 60 in that entire game. After winning 4 games across the next 3 events, he went on a run to his first PDC final, beating the likes of Brett Claydon and Keane Barry along the way, before he lost 5-0 to David Evans in the final. After a last 64 and last 32 in the last 2 events, he finished 18th on the Order of Merit, despite only having the 128th best average at 82.74. That year, he hit a 9-darter in a local event. He automatically qualified for the final stage of 2021 Q School due to his place in the Challenge Tour Order of Merit, and he had a great start, reaching the last 8 on the first day. He then reached back-to-back last 32s before losing in a last leg decider in the last 64 on the last day. This meant that he finished 14th, just 1 place off of a card due to leg difference. However, he got called up to play in all the Players Championship events that year due to his placement on the Q School Order of Merit. So, he embarked on a season playing the best players in the world using a set of 30-roll £10 darts. In the first 3 events, he lost in the first round on 2 days, but won his board and reached the last 32 on the other. In the 4th event, he averaged 96 in a 6-4 win over Nathan Aspinall. Then came his PDC Major debut, where he beat Lucas Vainig and Martin Thomas to reach the last 96, where he was beaten by John Brown. After losing 6-5 to Joe Cullen and Glenn Durrant in the first round of the next 2 Players Championship events, he went on an incredible run to the quarters of the 4th event of the year. He beat Gerwyn Price 6-2 in the second round before averaging 106.84 in a 6-1 win over Andy Hamilton. He then edged out Scott Mitchell in the decider before losing 6-3 to Gabriel Clemens in the quarters. He then won a week of the Online Darts Live League. Later on in that year, he beat Jack Main, Devon Peterson, Ryan Joyce and Brendan Dolan to reach another Players Championship quarter-final, where he lost 6-3 to Jose de Souza. He then only won 2 games in the final 10 Players Championship events, but he had done enough to qualify for the Players Championship finals and the World Championship at Ali Pali, despite not having a tour card. In the Players Championship finals, which was his TV debut, he lost 6-2 to Brendan Dolan. It was then time for his Alexandra Palace debut, where he continued to use his red ring Bristow darts. In his first game, he beat John Norman Jr. 3-1 to set up a dream tie with title favourite Michael van Gerwen. The first 4 legs of this game went with throw, meaning that the first set went to a last leg decider where MVG had the darts. The Dutchman then missed 7 darts to take the set, giving Barstow a chance at 116. Using the £10 Bristow darts, he took it out with treble 19, single 19 and tops, and let out a big celebration. Barstow only won 2 legs in the rest of the game and lost 3-1. It had been a great year for him, and he had a great moment winning that first set and winning the game before. Many people fancied him to win a tour card at Q School 2022, but in the final stage he failed to win a single game, meaning that he had to return to the Challenge Tour. He finished that year 45th on the Challenge Tour Order of Merit. His average was 87.7, the 22nd highest. This was a big fall off from the previous year, but many still expected him to challenge for a card at Q School in 2023. However, at the start of this year, he shockingly lost all 3 of his games in Stage 1, averaging in the low 80s and 70s, meaning that he failed to make it to the final stage. Barstow had gone from taking a set off MVG at Ali Pali to failing to win a Stage 1 Q School game. He played in 15 of the 24 Challenge Tour events this year, and after making a quarter-final at the first event, he failed to make it past the last 32 again. He ended the year with an average of 81.96, the 158th highest.